Dice Vault.
Yeah, the only thing I got is we could do inventory stuff.
And cans. Lots and lots of cans. So many cans on the stream. What is going on? Hi, guys.
Like, what was that voice?
The cans, the voice of too many cans. I don't know what voice that is. It's not a character I would play necessarily. Nevertheless. Kupo! But that's
What we
tomorrow.
doing in this run downtown, Kupo?
Man, you do that so much better than me. Damn it. Alright, my name is Tommy. Someone is loud. Who is loud?
Probably me again. Sorry.
That's the spirit. Just own it. It's a time for Wrath of the Righteous. It's our bi-weekly patron game where we're fighting all the demons, and we're also playing Mountain Blade Warband. We have 20 soldiers fit for combat against their 15. You have encountered World Wound demons. I don't know. Make that mod. It's a Paradox game. You can do it. Anyway, Nick, Adam, Tim, Jason, thank you guys for your support on Patreon. We will jump right in with the in-character reflections. And as you can see, I've cleaned up my OBS a little, so it's a little not as horrible looking. So you can put a voice to a token, since we're not using webcams for anybody who's not yours truly. We'll start from top to bottom for the in-character reflection. So first up over there is, I almost called him the Lizard Wizard, but that's not quite as correct. But there's nothing Smite Evil-y that rhymes with lizard. Lizard, Smite Wizard, it's Grazak is who it is. And if you would give us...
It is indeed Grazak. Grazak. I don't know about the pronunciation anymore at this point. Anyway.
When you don't know how to pronounce your own character's name.
I just can't decide on a whole thing. Anyway, the fat man has finally proven himself useful, and we now have a large shelter for us to stay in the meantime. Grazak is still not comfortable hanging out with all of these mammalian races, but Terendelev would have wanted Grazak to show some of the evil soldier types of this group how a true holy warrior stands against evil. And so he shall take them under his wing.
Fair enough.
And also the short, scrawny librarian man now wants to follow me around, because apparently Aravashnio was sick of dealing with Grazak and has now made me some other librarian's problem. Oh well. It's lost.
Fair enough. 1 hero point for you, and we go down now to Kieran.
Kieran is happy to be in somewhere that's defendable, that's actually defendable, and is happy that he's been able to find people who will actually stand up and not just cower in fear or try and run back to a safe place to hide and hope somebody else deals with the problem. You could say I'm throwing shade at people, but we'll let that be that. And he's happy that he's actually been able to go through some of the quartermastering, and we'll hand everyone 2,079 gold pieces.
As he flies them individually in 1 gold increments, given that he is a tiny creature and has to physically lift the thing. He is lightly encumbered, flies over, drops gold. But
he just has to, like... Sorry.
Yes? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I can imagine him just having to lug every gold coin like one at a time, because he's a tiny creature.
He's a little tiny boy. Take that hero point. And real quick, if you're typing, remember to mute. It is loud on the stream. As we go now to Tempe.
Alright, so yeah, we finally have a place to stay. We have been building up the defenses and getting everyone equipped and ready to fight. We've also been discussing plans for the future are. So yeah, last time was a pretty productive session.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good enough. Take your hero point. And we're going now to the bottom of the order, the biggest of the order. I should have arranged you guys by size category, and I may change that between here and next time. But right now it's Delvin.
Again, it has been a very productive time frame. Gotten a lot done. Picked up enough people that we have the twin problems of keeping track of everyone, but also we have enough to have a reasonable defensive force. So at this point, we just need to figure out what our next steps are. And my thought on that is we're probably going to try to see if there are any more survivors and then try to figure out the best point for us to head to get out of, well, to deal most effectively with our current situation.
Fair enough. I take that here.
How's that for vague and contradictory?
Well, you know, it is what it is. I take that hero point, and we will turn it over basically to you guys. Guerra Manor looks a lot different than it used to over the course of... Oh, there's quite a few of you now. So couches are being turned into barricades. People are fortifying windows. Horgus is visibly uncomfortable. But his survival instincts have kicked on. So, like, he knows this is what has to happen. But that doesn't mean Grandma's couch needs to have an axe through it necessarily, as it gets chopped into smaller barricades to cover windows and things. And I believe also we have a couple of mongrel men who are heading out now to go inform Chief Soul of what has happened. And so I can inform the viewers of what has happened. All of those guys you saw in that fight last time, we've split them up amongst the PCs, so the PCs can control them in combat. So you can probably expect some pretty big, like, skirmishes later on in our Wrath of the Righteous playthrough. I don't call it Mountain Blade for no reason. But I suppose the question has to be whose mongrel men are going now.
Does anyone have two mongrel men? Because probably be easier if it was one person that we're sending mongrel men, or did we split it up evenly?
I has one. I know that much.
So you have one who has the others.
I have one.
So then it seems to stand to reason that Delvin has two.
Are there just...
Okay.
Yeah, I thought there was 4 mongrelmen. Well, 3 mongrelmen and Lan.
For a total
So
of
if
4.
I have Lan, you have a mongrel man, then
So
right. Then it's split up evenly. All right.
well, Grazek didn't take a mongrelman.
Yeah, I didn't.
So I'd have 2. I was willing to do cleanup, so we can send my 2.
Okay, and off they go. We don't necessarily have to, like, roll it out or anything, but they do depart. The floor now, once again, belongs to y'all.
All right.
Delvin,
Yes.
would you mind placing Hastilla in a room away from people?
Yes. I believe last time I asked Torgus if there was a, I didn't say it this way, but relatively soundproof room
Yeah, there's a
Maybe, perhaps the basement would suffice.
Horgus does have a emergency bunker kind of thing set up, and that's presently where that man from the library and Hosilla both are stored.
Hmm.
I like you use the word stored.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'll take Lan and my librarians around with me and collect as many unused pillows as I can find.
There's probably a lot.
I'll throw them in the room around the walls,
Okay.
Sure.
and then I'll have them stand at the end of the hall and enter the room. And while I'm collecting the pillows, I'll ask if anyone wants to be involved with the questioning of the party
No,
members.
thank you.
I'd like to have this human male first. He has some questions for the librarian regarding what this man was doing or not.
Well, answer his questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I have two with me.
Sorry, Grzak. Sorry, I should have been clear. Grzak isn't 100% sure if he wants to, if he should have that corrupted knight killed just yet, because he would like to ask the librarians that knight was attacking if anybody was actually killed by him. If so, then Grzak wouldn't have any issues with just executing him. Otherwise, he wants to try and let's say beat some sense into him when he wakes up.
That makes sense. Okay. Just quick double checking. Do it a read. Here I am reading all over my stream. The librarians, they both, as they remember the incident, it's a little jarring for them. But no, he didn't kill any of us. He would have had you not arrived in time. Yes, we are very appreciative.
Had I not met Terendelev before, I wouldn't have had a second thought about slaying that thing. But seeing Delvin's behavior with the other dwarf, I feel like Terendelev would probably want me to follow that example. I will see what madness ails this human, and then decide his fate.
They nod.
Okay. So, if nobody has any objections, when we enter the room, I would like to... Is he still unconscious, by the way?
Yes. Unless you guys have deliberately, stopped tapping them with non-lethal damage, they would still be knocked out.
Now that we have the vault, we'd probably tie him up and let him come to.
Okay.
Sure.
So it takes a little while. It'll probably take about... Without some form of healing, it'll take him 8 hours, but he'd come back around.
Yeah, well, we also had to defend the...
Set up, defenses and whatnot.
That's true. Okay, so we'll say that 8 hours have basically passed in the setup, and you come in, and there's one room that these two are stored in, and we have tied them both up in the corners, and they both just kind of look up at you and glare.
Without a single word, Grazak just picks him up by the collar and just drags him out of that room.
Okay. He does not resist.
All right. Does he say anything?
Nope. There's probably a lot of grunting as you pick him up and start dragging him, but not a word. There's probably a derisive laugh from Hosilla, in the corner as she sees this happen, but the man says nothing.
It's kind of muffled with the gag, but
Yeah, fair.
I'll just look at her and
Sure.
smile and go, that means you're left with me.
She just glares back.
I'll let you guys have your turn with her first, and then we can move on to Drazak's.
All right, let's get down to
anger
torturing.
management session.
Okay.
As he gets ready to
Administer.
have the door close, I'll just look at her, look at my hand, and say, I would join in, but I might lose control, and that might make things far too easy on you. And I'll just creak the door close.
Hold on, wait. I need you to bring in a chair and put her in the chair.
Oh, sure. I'll go find a chair, and I'm not going to try to break the chair whenever I put her in, but I will not be gentle.
Okay, fair enough. The chair is probably pretty nice too, very well cushioned, and for this time frame, pretty well set up, and just she slams into it. All right, Kieran.
I'll flitter down to a table in the room, and I'll pick up a little mortar and pestle, and I'll start grinding up some glass from some of the windows that we passed in the street. And I'll take a pinch out, and I'll walk over to her and go, so what can you tell us about this invasion?
Give me an
Why are you
intimidate
here?
check.
Ooh, I should have stuck around for this.
Yeah, I don't have this.
My intimidation is very high.
As for the
I don't have the intimidation.
The 7th time this AP, I scroll back to the front of the book for an NPC who should be dead by now. But it is a 6. She cannot speak. All she can really do is glare, and you can feel her eyes kind of like boring through yours as she stares you down.
I'll open my hand and blow the glass into her eyes.
Oof. Okay. She can't dodge. It will definitely hit. She's gonna make I'm gonna grab me some fantasy grounds. We're gonna roll some dice for torturing today. That's what we're about. Okay. This happens. Her eyes begin to bleed. She doesn't blink. Continues to just stare forward. There's a bit of a twitch as the glass connects. Probably actually like 5 or 6 or 7 twitches because it's obviously painful. But it doesn't seem to phase her.
I asked you what you know about the demons trying to get out.
She grunts.
I can make this last a very long time for you. I've got eternity. What do you have?
She grunts again. And kind of like, she can't really look at her mouth, but she looks down, given that her mouth is still bound.
I check her over, make sure that she doesn't have a holy symbol. I remove her gloves if she has gloves or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys
And
would have
then
already
I'll,
taken her holy
if she
symbol.
doesn't, I'll pull the gag down.
Okay. As you do that, she spits at you and she says, "So, do you speak Abyssal?"
I don't remember. I think I do. Yeah.
Okay, so she spits at
Celestial,
you.
Sylvan, and Abyssal.
Baphomet, give me strength. And as this happens, it's slow, but her eyes slowly stop bleeding.
I just clap gleefully. Ooh, this one can last longer.
We all do what we can.
I'll fly back over to the table and pick up a few wooden splints and a hammer. And I'll take one of her fingers and I'll line the splint up underneath her nail and just start tapping it in.
Okay.
So you gonna tell me?
The splint there's a little more resistance to it than you would think there would be as you push it in, like as if her body was rapidly healing it back out, but eventually after about like a couple of minutes it eventually gives, and that's when make another intimidate check. You have some kind of bonus for actively causing massive amounts of harm to someone. Throw the dice, we'll see what happens.
Can I use a heal?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I actually got this to code in correctly. No. That has a plus 10.
Okay.
Because it's the same as my knowledge nature. It's a class ability.
Got you. Okay.
That's why I asked if I could use it.
That makes sense. It makes sense for the vivisectionist too. So this definitely is like, that is exactly where the splint needs to go. And it pushes in, and you are sure that as you're saying this, she is in excruciating pain, and she does start to like cry out. Not super loud. She tries to like quickly muffle herself as it happens. But it's pretty clear that whatever magical anything she had to try to get through it, she has already used. I don't know anything. I've been with the freaks for too long.
The freaks?
The mongrel men.
Oh, the offshoot?
She nods.
The crazy mongrel men? Okay. What about the tieflings? Where'd they come from?
My servants? Well, here in this part of the world, they're all too common, and they flock to people like myself, ride our coattails. Perhaps they'll attract the attention of some dark patron. Unfortunate fools.
I see. So, and I'll pull out her orders. Who's this SV lady?
She says nothing.
And see, I thought we were getting somewhere. And I'll start putting in a second splint into her other hand.
Okay, make a heal check.
Into her index fingers.
Ooh. Okay. So she sees you pull out the orders, and her eyes narrow, and her lips purse, and then in comes the second splint, and it's obvious she feels it. Adam, you're making a lot of noise over there, bud.
Sorry. Like I asked, who's SV?
His name is Staunton Vane.
Staunton Vane. Hold on. That's not what I want. I want this so I can be. And I'll jot that down onto the orders and cross out the SV and write in Staunton Vane. Okay. Now see, wasn't this so much easier?
She grits her teeth.
I'll break off the splints and call Delvin in and be like, I'm done with her for now. You can, and I'll re-gag her and be like, you can put her back in the corner. I'll just wait until Grazak's done with his fun time. If there's anything left. I did hear his stomach growl. Maybe he'll be missing a limb or two.
Tommy, I do have one question.
Yes.
As Delvin, is it all the time Delvin gets close to anything evil that the foul brand itches, burns, is uncomfortable?
Not anything evil, at least so far as you've been able to discern, but anything that has to do with Baphomet. Like, it itches around Hasilla. Hasilla was a servant of Baphomet. But around, like,
Okay.
some of the demons when you were fighting them, it probably was just, like, mild inconvenience itch, not, like, pain.
My question is, if I think it's enough that it might provide a little forewarning,
Yeah, it's kind of
use
that
it
Harry
as
Potter scar effect.
Baphomet radar.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Well, I'll come in. This time, I'm not going to leave her sitting up in the corner. I'm going to hog tie her. No, let me rephrase that. Arms behind back and loop the rope from around her ankles up to her wrists. So, and then just drop her on her stomach and or face in the corner.
Gotcha. She collides with the stone floor with an audible gasp and says nothing further.
What's the quality of her clothes?
Well, much less than they were before. After all the dragging around and stuff. They are like slightly above average, what you would expect a commoner in Canabras to wear. They're nice. They're not like.
I'll take what remains of Mellorin's bedroll and fashion a loincloth and a band.
Okay.
I know what the word is. I just can't remember what it is. But the super tight coverage up top.
Gotcha. Okay.
She doesn't need fancy clothes.
Okay, gotcha. And now we go to Grazik.
Okay. So, Grazak isn't going to do anything fancy getting him in a chair. Grazak will just drag this man to another separate room. Just drag him along the floor like a sack of potatoes and just prop him up against the wall. We then are going to get down at eye level with him, just staring down at him with my big alligator eyes, and just say, name. Just single word, asking his name. I actually can't remember what his name was.
Caleb.
He looks back up at you. Caleb Sazamal.
You tried to kill the librarians and sages. Why?
Is it not obvious,
You
lizard?
meant to sacrifice them?
Yes. We lost. The world wound will soon overcome all of Avestan, all of Galarian. I would much rather be on the winning side. You can, you distinctly remember this guy carried a pretty big shield with the Iomedae's holy symbol on it.
You humans have always looked down upon my kind, comparing us to nothing more but beasts and simpletons. And yet look at you, breaking in the face of danger and death. You are met with the ultimate challenge as a warrior of the divines, and yet you broke and lost your faith, and now you seek to side with beasts that are the enemies to all life. We are still here. We have not lost. If I had met you before I met my master, I would not give you this chance to live. In fact, your head would most likely be adorning my neck. But I will give you this chance. Can I make an intimidation check for this?
Yeah, sure.
Also, after saying this, I want to drag him outwards and show him all of the people that we've managed to bring it together that are here to stand and fight against what he perceives as being, impossible odds. All right, I need to bring my character out.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Sorry. Skills. There we go.
Okay. How's my wisdom mod? Is my wisdom mod anything at all? Oh, you. Okay. He sees everyone. Everyone sees him. And the wizards who were once afraid of him now all kind of instinctively go to cantrip. The ravens begin like circling around and calling. All of the mercenaries put hands to weapons. The land and the one mongrelman who remain turn, and lobster claws do a clacking, and all of that fun stuff. Even Milorn, who is still disheveled and gross looking, kind of just goes to his crossbow. Caleb falls silent.
I haven't heard very much about your god, Iomedae. You may have betrayed her, but surely you know of her.
Me
Tell
too.
me. Tell me of this god of yours.
Well, a long, long time ago, God of my people died. It wasn't long after that that she kind of took his place. Justice and valor and honor and fighting for what is right and spending your entire life posted in some godforsaken blasted wasteland. Where were you? Where were all of, and are we still outside? Are we still in the like common room?
Yeah, sure.
Where were all of you when we were attacked? Hiding in a library. He scans over everyone else, hits the mongrelman hiding under the earth. I don't even know what your deal is as he goes over Milorn. We fought. It wasn't until that I've read about Baelors, but I've never seen one that big. It wasn't until that thing took my horse out from under me that I began to realize this is not. We have lost. It's time to start playing for the winning team. Why can't any of you see that? And his voice goes out into the room, and even Horgus is kind of like side-eye at him at this point.
You know what I saw? I saw a daughter of my god die. My one-time master, a being that I thought to be my people's salvation, decapitated by that abomination. I did despair, yes, I still do. Do you not think that we are afraid, that we have doubt? But that does not mean that we give in. We fight. We strive to live. What can those beasts have nothing to offer you by joining their side? I then proceed to drag him out of the mansion and show him the ruins. This is what those creatures have to offer. Nothing but destruction and death. They will not be your salvation. You are nothing but a plaything for those creatures. Even before I came here, I fought against those that honored and worshipped them. I was maimed by one of them as a child. I know exactly what it is that they think of of all mortal life. There is no siding with those creatures. But you still have a chance to redeem yourself, just as those mercenaries did. They were going to do exactly what you were doing. They were going to sacrifice them, but now they were able to understand. Surely you can. Should I make a diplomacy or an intimidation check for that?
Either or. Because the words
Yeah.
are mean, but also nice. Okay. Caleb falls silent and stares at the ground.
You said your god died?
He did.
I understand this. Before the Apsu was arrived, my kind had many gods. Eons ago, we once had a great empire. But then one of my god's children grew jealous and destroyed all the others. My gods were all slain. And yet, here I am. I have not lost hope. My people haven't, and yours have not lost hope either.
So what am I supposed to do?
Oh. Hmm. I'm going to drag him back to the room, and I'm going to fetch him a water skin and a little bit of food. I can't imagine we've really been feeding these people at all.
Not much more than like what they need to survive, really, I would imagine.
I'm just gonna, he's still trussed up, so I'm gonna hand him water and just be, what you can do? Reconsider.
Okay. He takes the water greedily and downs it
I'll
really,
leave
really
him to
fast.
think for a bit.
He takes the water greedily, downs it really fast, says nothing else. And you leave him be. Everyone is pretty subdued at this point, now that they've actively seen, and since they can't find Hosilla, that a lot of people can probably 1 + 1 = a similar thing is happening to her. People go about their work, but they don't really, like, there is a certain aura in Forgus's manner today.
More paranoid than and finicky than usual.
Something like that, yeah.
Eh. I'm not sure if Grazak would say anything about that, but mostly just because I'm not sure what to ask. So like, Fat Man.
Guys,
Hmm.
Fat Man, I assume you're talking about Horgus Guarum.
Horus Guarum. Yes. I have not quite learned the name yet. Horus.
Horgus. Horus is an Osirian god that I probably only have like
Horus.
tertiary knowledge of.
Okay.
What do you
I mean,
want?
we probably shouldn't refer to him as Fat Man if we're not allowing him to call Delvin Giant Boy.
Maybe, but Grazak doesn't really care. How have the others been faring?
Well, My home is now much more defensible, should they try to break down the front door, I suppose. Priceless antiques shattered all in the name of justice and surviving to the next day. I guess I can't really complain. Everybody's pretty shaken up though. Everyone saw what you did to that man from the library, and well, I suppose they probably just don't know quite what we're about.
Well, what we
Is he
are
still
about-
alive?
Oh, yeah, he's still alive.
No, I'm asking Horkus.
I suppose he is, but this is rapidly turning into, well, your own little mercenary company. I suppose people are just trying to figure out what policy is. You know, it's like when you have children and then the children try to act just like the father and the mother and they grow up to be like them. It's like that.
Policy right now? Survive and do whatever it takes.
But you do make a good point, Master Horgus.
Speaking of which, your parents were highfalutin too, right?
Orgus nods.
You'll ever be forced to learn how to play something?
Not particularly, no. I could probably fiddle my way around a lute if I absolutely had to.
I was thinking tonight would be the perfect time to have a mini party. I mean, we're certainly in the decadence to do it.
There we are. Well,
Got to survive the little things.
I suppose. I mean,
Celebrate the little things, not survive them.
And I think, Master Horgus, this would be a chance for you to show leadership, to show the
Usefulness.
proof of your breeding.
Oh, God. You're playing into his noble sensibilities and egotisticalness.
and he's
Yeah.
eating it up.
Of
All right,
course.
I could probably figure something out, I suppose. We're just trying to survive, right? I imagine not unlike that man trying to sell his soul to demon lords. He just thought he was trying to survive, and now look at him. Well, what? In any case, if you'd like to throw a party at Holger's Guarum's house, I suppose we could.
You got a map room?
I got a map of Cadobras around here somewhere. And he turns in, like, over the course of about 5 minutes of throwing open desks and, oh, this has got a bunch of this in it. It's probably all done, been made into barricades. Oh, no, here it is. And out comes a map, and on a table he sets a map of Cadobras.
Lan, would you mind going to fetch Anivia and assisting her getting here?
Of course. And he runs off, grabs her. Yes?
You said you wanted to get home. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it'll set your mind at ease. Where are you? I'm assuming we're here. Because I would assume I practically just walk over to it and just tap my foot down.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're here. Where are you? How do we want to get there? Because that should probably be tomorrow's mission.
All right. Well, so we're not that far from here now. I never really paid that much attention to this particular place, but I live in the Gate District as well. We could probably make it there tonight if we really wanted to. Perhaps like a 10-minute walk. Assuming, and she looks out the window where like you can see some giant wing of something or other as it like flaps down on the horizon and then goes off. Assuming we aren't attacked.
Oh, dear.
Like it flew beyond the horizon?
Yeah. It is not attacking you guys.
Okay. Alright. that doesn't sound like a terrible idea. If he's going to be organizing that, we should be able to get there and back before the festivities begin.
All right.
At which point I would expect her to go, wait, festivities?
She nods. Is it just going to be the 5 of us? Or do we want to bring everyone?
I'm bringing Lan. I don't know who else is coming.
All right. Well,
The more people that would be going, the easier it would be for us to be spotted.
and there's less guards to get ready for the festivities here in our manor that you said would have guards.
Yeah. You still have those two. As I point over to the corner to the 2 wizards.
He nods.
Rules question.
Yes.
Can a recipient of a spell end a spell with a duration at any moment?
Yes. Like if someone were to cast Enlarge Person on someone, but someone didn't want to be enlarged, yeah, they could end it.
Okay.
Well, that's 3 of us so far. I imagine Delvin and Tempe and Grazik will come as well.
Yes. I'll tell my librarian, and yeah, I think all I have is a librarian and Maloran at the moment. I'll tell the librarian to stay, and I'll, take a knee to talk quietly with Maloran. Brother, are you willing to stay here to help defend this place?
I could. Better than being out there.
In that case, I will put my trust in you, and I'll, put a fist up for a fist bump.
He reciprocates.
If you would help out as you can. Oh, and if possible, see if we can get some curtains over the windows for if there is light here tonight. I'd prefer us not be visible to everything.
Understood. And he goes and sets about it.
Well, I know we also have those bolts of cloth and fabric that the tailors brought.
Mm-hmm.
So between that and tapestries and the rest, that shouldn't be too hard to manage.
Right.
Does Aravashniel, what's his caster level, do we know?
You're not sure, but
Isn't he out of character? Isn't he like a 5th level wizard?
he's pretty powerful. He's the only thing that's really holding him back is the fact that he can't see what he's doing.
He got no eyeballs.
Indeed.
His eye holes are missing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go up to him and ask him if he would be so kind as to cast Mage Armor
Okay.
on myself.
He scrolls to his spell list is what he does. You come up, you ask him, he looks around and says the incantation, touches you, and Mage Armor was cast.
Yay.
And you will have it for quite a while.
Okay.
Okay, so on the expedition to the Tirabade residence, I see we have Delvin, we have the party plus Lan and Anivia. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Nah, Grazok will have the anyone who is his cohort just to stay behind and keep watch.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry, I thought of something and just lost it.
Oof.
And also to keep a super close eye on Caleb.
Okay.
Just extra bit.
Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of people guarding those closed and locked doors. Okay.
Yeah.
So unless anybody has
Oh,
anything else, and so they do. Yes.
When we, I will reduce size to normal dwarf, and I'm also going to have my familiar do quick scouting in front of us. So we shouldn't run into much unknowing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So you guys take off. It's relatively quiet, and you guys are able to make it, like, Anivia thought it was like a 10-minute walk. It's probably like a 5 or 6. It's not far at all. It actually, like, this and the library and Horgus's manor, they all three form sort of like a triangle if you were to see them on a map, and they're pretty close to one another.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was under the impression that they were like a few miles apart at least. At least that the house was, or at least that Anivia's like house was like in like the country or something.
Now they all three of these structures exist in what is called the Gate District of Canabres, which is the, like, you have the old city at the top of the hill where the church was, where you guys were when the attack happened, that has been Canabres forever, and then there's that wall, and then a second walled off area where new growth has come up since this has become a major crusading town, and then people buy houses and things here. And then there's another wall, and then outside is like Crusader tent town, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
But in any case, so the Tierbade residence is pretty, like, standard as you guys approach. Anivia is obviously visibly anxious as you guys turn the corner, and there it is. You guys are... Oop. Boom. Well, bam. Well,
Do I have a
bam.
map for it?
Yep, map 2, bottom right corner.
Ah.
Hello.
The floor is yours, y'all.
Alright. Sorry, I'm just attempting to navigate over to it.
Mm-hmm. Someone has drawn a circle.
I did that by accident. I'm trying to navigate. I'm trying to, like, it's still in the, like, the corner of my screen, but I can't, like, towards, like, the center.
Oh no, it's the edge of the map.
Yeah, it's the bottom right corner of the map. If you just put your
Yeah.
mouse on your token and then zoom down, you'll scroll into it. It's just very close to the edge of the
Okay.
map.
Okay.
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 Yep.
Does Chompy smell anything?
Burning demon, but that's pretty normal. Nothing out of the ordinary.
If there are any windows or
No,
similar, I'll take a quick look as well.
Okay.
And the 19 was Chompy's. Where do I have?
Well, it's a very simple, like, just a little tiny affair jammed in the middle of not the middle of the street, but just kind of alongside another couple of houses. There are a couple windows. You look inside. There's doesn't seem to be like anything's really out of place, which is odd, but not uncommon, because there's a lot of houses out here that have had a similar fate.
I'll how light is it inside?
Inside, it's not lit.
Yeah. So we talking low light vision to see, dark vision to see?
Probably like low light vision is probably fine.
Okay. Then I'll tap Grazik on the shoulder and do the, you go right, I'll go left once we go in the door.
I grunt in approval.
Okay, I'm back. Where are we?
Bottom right corner of the map.
Right, but what are we doing?
We've gone to Enivia's house, and also you're real quiet.
Yes, you are.
Sorry, my headset thing was far away from the mouth.
Okay, so far there's not a lot of anything moving around, really.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I'll move up to the door and do the fingers 3 up, 2 up, 1 up, and open the door, go through. I go to the left and Chompy goes straight through the middle.
And then Grazak goes right.
Okay, understood. If you guys could make perception checks for me.
Okay.
Okay, so the house appears to be mostly undisturbed as the 4 of you walk in. There are a couple of other doors. It's a really small, teeny tiny little house. There's like 1 table and for eating on, and then like 1 table for writing on, and what you assume would be a bedroom and a storage room and things of that nature. This door is open. And Chompy gets the faint smell of something large and sweaty as Enivia makes her way into the room. There are some held actions.
Okay.
And so what would happen now?
I'll quickly wave my hand to get people's attention, point to Chompy and point to my nose.
Gotcha.
Real quick.
So, appearing out from
figure
under the
everyone
table.
will catch.
Right.
Appearing out from
just
under the
before
table
we start
crawls
going-
a little fire beetle. It turns and clacks at Enivia. If we could roll initiative.
Oh, okay.
That was terrible.
Shoot, where did mine? Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm now.
Not as terrible as mine, at least. Wait. Well. Oh wow, you got a +9.
I believe so.
Huh.
4 of that's from Chompy.
Of course.
And then I have a Grezix rolling at a 9. I have a bad roll, but I still beat Tim. Okay, so Delvin is first. As a little bright red beetle crawls out from under the table.
Seeing how I'm not sure what those are, Arcana, Engineering, Planes. don't know that any of those work real well. So I guess I'll just do well, yeah, it probably needs to die. So I'll take a move action over attack and have Chompy go after it too.
Okay, sounds good.
So move and my attack roll. Look at the sheet. Uh, 20 something.
22.
22, yeah, that is.
Okay. And since I'm smaller, it's merely a D8 plus strength. So,
Okay, yeah, flavor that kill.
It scuttles out from over the table. I take a few quick steps over, turn my sword upside down and just thump into the floor.
Fair enough. So the first thing you notice when you do this is the carapace of the beetle is a little tougher than you would think it would be. As if, like, you were swinging at bread that had been sitting out for a week and it got real hard and stale. But then once you break that level of staleness, it's as if the rest of the inside was made of butter. And you just clean through and through it. It sizzles, pops, flashes, and disappears. Anything else?
That is interesting.
Yeah, I'll have, since he didn't do anything else, I'll have Chompy go over and take a quick peek around the door over here.
Okay. That is where the smell of, like, big, stinky, sweaty something or other is coming from.
Okay. He won't look through the door. He'll look back at me like, you're joking, right?
And seeing the little reptile face making the face like that, Grazak would... You know what? Something I haven't done in a while. I'm going to use the aligned weapon ability from this dragon scale and just cast that on one of my claws.
Nice. We'll wait until after Kieran's turn. It's Kieran's turn.
Right.
Man, I think we have stuff to do.
He nods.
I'm going to fly to there. Keely will move to there. And he'll move to here. And open the door.
Okay. If Lan could make a perception check for me.
That's the thing.
It is indeed.
You probably just throw a d20 at the board.
Okay. This is +7, +9 if it's a evil outsider.
Gotcha. Okay. So inside that room.
As the die just kind of sticks. Wait, did I roll the right die?
I see a d20 and it says 7.
I guess that is a d20. It looked like a d8 to me
Yeah, it kind of
for a
does.
second.
In any case, there's clearly, as you guys are moving through, the door that Chompy is standing at is some kind of, like, storage room, whereas this would be the I would say, master bedroom, but also is the only bedroom in the place. It's odd how the bed has been made, which would indicate either like someone had not slept in it the night before, or like has been in and out and as a matter of routine made their bed. You probably get some other stuff though. Boom. Yeah, no, not really. It's definitely the bedroom. There doesn't seem to be anything jumping out at you from it.
Okay, Kitty will continue his double move. And Kitty smells.
Kitty, on the other hand, does something that Kitty's master can't do right now, given how those sinuses sound. Sees in the bedroom under the bed, there's a little... I don't want to call it a footlocker. That's not quite correct. More like a secret little niche in the wood that the bed is sitting on. It's hanging slightly ajar.
He'll walk up to it and meow paw.
Okay, fair enough. That cat would like to go in there. Anything else?
I will spend my standard action to ready to hit whatever comp he clearly sees is or thinks is in the next room.
Okay, fair enough. Then it goes to Grazik.
I'll just be sitting by the. I'll be standing near Chompy, just waiting to enter the room.
Okay.
See whatever else comes through.
Alrighty.
If I may move. Can I move here?
Yeah, Chompy is a tiny creature.
Okay.
Okay. And then it passes to me. So Chompy's keen senses were in fact correct. Dropping out of invisibility as it stabs forward at Chompy is a burly, sweaty half-orc man carrying a rancer. He looks like at the whole room as he's stabbing and has no line of sight to Anivia. Basically, just growls and stabs forward. And we're gonna do a stabbing over at someone's familiar. That always feels bad. But here we go. Ooh, bam! A 9 to hit Chompy.
Pretty sure that misses.
Yeah. I assume a 9 misses. And passes to Tempe as Chompy's able to dodge out of the way.
Alright, let's see. Okay. She's gonna come in here and make a small little attack here. Try and be the person he's attacking.
Okay.
Well, hold on. He had a Ranzer with a reach weapon. You're not. The way you're moving right now doesn't provoke any attacks opportunity, does it?
It would provoke as you move in.
Yeah, go ahead and provoke. I'm okay with this.
Okay. 11 to hit. Man.
Oh no, he totally misses.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp, womp.
Alright, so that's 13 plus 5 is an 18 to hit.
18 misses as well. Your weapon
18
bounces
misses him.
Yeah,
Okay.
bounces off his mage armor.
Alright. Oh, this dude has mage armor on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fun. Alright.
Alrighty, back down to top of the initiative goes to Delvin. Who is muted?
Apparently.
Something just took a swing at Chompy, so Chompy's going to try to take a bite out of it, and I'm going to move over and do the same.
Okay.
Except not with my teeth.
Of course. And me without my combat reflexes. Okay.
So move to there and use plus dun, dun.
A 19.
Does a 19.
It does in fact hit.
Okay. D8 plus 4. Hmm. 11 points.
11
And
points of
now-
damage. Got it.
And now Chompy.
Dang. Okay. Roll to confirm.
Wow. Dang.
Wop, wop, wop. That's not confirmed.
He has rerolls from hero points.
That is true.
Yeah, but I don't know whether I'm going to burn that for my familiar biting someone.
But it's Wrath of the Familiars.
Keep in mind that it does need a 19 to hit it, and I'm not sure that how easy that would be for his familiar.
You can try.
Yeah.
He could
He's
roll
already
another 20.
committed to the attack.
Yeah, I'll leave it where it is.
Okay.
Oh.
So, oh, come on. It's a D3 minus 1 damage.
And then I make a
So-
fort save.
Yes, so that's 1 point of damage.
Woo.
Haha, take that.
And my fort save is 10.
I believe that's too low, though I
Okay.
am rapidly trying to get it up on PFSRD.
Alcinathus.
Yes.
Now that -1 to damage, is that because of its strength modifier? Because what's his
Probably.
dex? Because what's his dex? Because aren't we doing the? Are we using the finesse rule?
Yes.
Then
DC Fortitude save of 12.
Oof.
D2 strength damage. 1 per round for 4 rounds. Care of 1 save.
Gotcha.
And also, if we're using that finesse rule from Elephant, then he would be adding his dexterity to his damage.
Right.
So it wouldn't
Which is
be a
why Kitty
-1.
kills.
Yes.
yeah,
Now Chompy can also pull off the same thing.
yeah.
And his dex is 15, so. So I take 4 damage and then. Oh, excuse me. And then D2 of strength damage.
It was a D3.
Ah.
So 2 points damage.
Okay.
Then how much were we adding?
2.
It was D3 minus 1.
And now it's a D3
So
plus 2.
So
Well,
instead, it's a D3 plus 2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Let's-
should be like
Because
D3.
I'll
of
take it.
dexterity.
So 4 points.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Yay, elephant in the room
You-
rules.
Elephant in the room rules are nice. And then if you roll that D2 for strength damage.
Okay.
Does
Uh,
does pose an interesting question. Do our familiar army get rolled a square? Or elephant
Uh,
ram?
They
2
would,
points.
Because everybody else is.
Oh, in that case, if they took a feat like, say, power attack,
Then they didn't take
would
it.
they be able to get a different feat?
Yeah. Sorry if that was unclear. Totally.
Yeah, that's.
Alrighty, Chompy bites in. The wound flares up. The half-orc looks at you, growls something or other in Orcish. Is that all from Delvin?
Yes. Chompy smiles very broadly.
And it goes to Kieran. Actually, Anivia will take her turn now. She hobbles her way over to here, and she's going to try to take a shot at him. And definitely hits for +1. So as Chompy bites in, an arrow flies into the side of this guy, and he sees Anivia, and he... Anybody speak Orc?
No.
Nope.
Looks her in the eye and shouts something at the top of his voice in Orc. She just kind of smiles and grabs another arrow, and it's on Kieran.
Kieran will do this.
Why, yes, he will. Oof.
Disappear into the night, apparently.
Very much.
Fly behind Delvin, and then do this.
19 hits. For 19 points of non-lethal damage. Got it.
Apparently I rolled well.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Anything else?
No.
Now ready. On to Grazik we go.
Oh, right.
Well,
I have other characters.
Seeing as there's kind of a crowd in there already, I think I'm just gonna move over and provide moral support. And by moral support, I mean make an intimidation check.
Okay, sure. He'll provide morale support.
Exactly.
Alright, get him.
Get him. Get him.
Or demoralization report. Oh,
Or
yeah.
I will just. Grzak attempts to growl, but then he coughs as he.
To be
just
fair,
had
you
something like
could
his throat.
still beat him. It's possible.
Opposed by 10 plus half my hit dice plus my wisdom. How bad is my wisdom?
Well, it's plus half your hit dice.
Right.
I guess you have a negative modifier.
Oh, yeah.
He does not. It's good. He doesn't really hear you. He's too busy with all the guys in his face.
So what do we call that? Do we call that a scale ball instead of a hairball?
Yeah, something like that. Just dead scales
I'm
come out.
not sure.
I was just hoping you made your intimidation check because I had the way to flavor it. Chompy runs in, bites and backs off into the corner and smiles. He turns over and looks, and there's Great Big Brother
Much bigger.
smiling.
Cousin is his cousin. Does that? Little cousin Choppy.
Alrighty, if that's all from Grazik, I'm going to go to my turn. I add that. I need to roll pretty good, though. I did. Okay, so that was his roll to cast defensively, so this doesn't provoke. I have a caster level of that, and I cast a that, and it does a this. Let me see how many of these I have at level 5. If I want,
Thanks for the information.
I mean, he's gonna die.
I know, right?
Nah, just the one. Okay, just the one.
If
All
only
right.
one of us knew Orc, then maybe we could have gotten him on our side.
Yeah. This one you don't get. This one's gonna die. You can't have him. No. I'm gonna roll a touch attack. I don't like.
Gotta recruit them all.
Gotta recruit them all. That was a really bad book. Pretend I didn't do that. That never happened. Oh, why
You
does
can
it?
edit it out of the stream.
Nah, I'm leaving it. It was too good. It's gotta stay now. So I have a bab of. I really hate reading Pathfinder character sheets when I'm trying to figure out what I'm casting and what my touch is. So I have that, and my bab is that. So it's just a +3. Hooray! Targeting Delvin. Boom. A 16 over Delvin's touch.
A 16 over my touch hits.
4. Because I would. Boom. 9
Don't
points.
forget you have reduced.
Hmm?
I was going to say to Delvin, don't forget you have reduced person on, which will increase your AC.
Yeah, but not by enough.
Yeah.
Should be by like 3.
that would knock my touch to 14 at this point.
And he says something in Orcish, and a lance of fire comes out of his hand and collides with your chest. It burns! And now it's on Tippy. Because I can go nowhere, and I only have a reach weapon. So, there's that. That happened.
You could 5-foot step into Compy Square.
I played myself.
I'm not going to bother casting a spell, and still no one has taken damage. So, let's roll to attack again.
Delvin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Delvin took some damage. Yeah.
No one important. We get it.
Just Delvin.
Exactly.
Just
All right,
Delvin.
that's going to be a hit.
Okay, sure.
21, and then damage, not much. Okay.
Oh, wait. Hang on. Thing
Hey,
happened.
6 damage. Woohoo!
I passed the save. I do not take further strike damage. He takes 6 damage. He's taken 17, and 6 and 4 is 27. And then Delvin gave him a thwap for a number, which was that number. Okay, so you run up and you thwap him with the sword cane, and he's got enough of a bruise on his head from where Kieran hit him with a rock that he does slump against the wall unconscious.
Haha!
Tie him back and take him to the vault. We'll have another.
Too many
Now,
warm blood.
you say that we can't have him, but we're all about to hit level 4. Which means that theoretically, I could learn Orc. Ooh, yes! I could learn Orc next level. And then I could talk to him. And get him on our side. Yeah! I like it. That's the plan.
Okay.
So
Doesn't
many
Evia
warm
know
blood,
Orc?
so little time.
Does Anivia speak that language? Anivia does make her way into the room. But does she speak that? You have to assume that because reasons that I know and Adam knows, she has to speak Orc. Otherwise, that's it. What happened? How you do that? I'm like, you know how to talk Orc? Yeah, she does. And she speaks something called Shadow Tongue as well. I've never seen that one before. Sounds fun! She makes her way into Compy's Square, and as he goes down, she has her bow drawn, and she has it pointed at his chest. This one is not worth saving. I didn't expect to find Vagorg here, but he and my wife and I, we have a past. And with that, the arrow flies. He spasms once.
Never mind. We definitely don't get to keep him.
Oh, should have stopped her.
Grazak just shrugs.
What is? Keep your.
Waste of arrow.
Perhaps.
I yank the arrow out and hand it back to her. It'd probably be broken. Never mind.
Yeah.
Is he your wife's brother?
No, not quite that far. It's a really long story. Let's just say that my wife and he have a past, and he tried to talk her out of not turning him in because, well, they share a similar ancestry. They are not kin, but they both have orc blood, and he tried to use that to get out of, well, what he deserved. I'd only know a little bit. I wasn't in the picture at the time, but I know who he is. I recognize him from his description. I recognize him from, and she kicks at his rancer, that thing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't some of the demon worshippers also have rancers, or were those just glaives?
They were glaives. This is a different one.
Glaives.
Okay.
I definitely point at Delvin and be like, pick that up. That's useful.
Will do. Where's your pet?
Oh, yes, that's... I'm sorry. In all the confusion, I would have... If there's anything here, it would be... And she makes her way over to her room and opens the little cubby hole that Kitty is kittying
The cat
at.
is guarding?
Yeah, with his life. He's a good kitty. Best kitty. Was once a tumor, is now a kitty. Bull. Okay, so now I gotta jump to the other side of this.
Bouncing.
That's all running APs is okay, now I need this information. Back of the book! And then over to this side, and that's how you do it, kids. That's how you run a Paizo AP. I've learned that here at BDG. So
Electric
she-
Boogaloo not included.
what'd you say?
Electric Boogaloo not included.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, they didn't. That's when when second edition comes out and we do another Inner Sea series. It will be called Inner Sea 2 Electric Boogaloo because that's good is why. But anyway, Anivia opens up the cubbyhole and Kitty in land probably as well sees that there's a note inside, as well as a couple of potions that Anivia sets on the bed. She unfolds the note, reads it, turns to you guys. I need another favor.
What does note say?
Irabeth and what survivors she could find are held up at Defender's Heart.
What is that?
Okay.
Keep?
Do you know where that is?
You guys would all pretty well know where that is. It's the most popular inn in Canabras. The place is not intentionally, but it was built basically to survive like hell and high water, basically. It's not the worst place in the world to fortify.
Okay.
So it's an inn that doubles as like a bunker.
Kind of, sort of. It's just a very, very well put together, very big inn.
Tavern built by the paranoid.
Something like that.
All right. Well, we know what our next plan is. Do we want to bring a larger contingent, or just what we have?
It's pretty far from here. It's almost on the other side of the city.
We probably need to wait until tomorrow to go.
Yeah, that sounds
That
like
sounds
the
like
best
a good plan.
idea.
I wish it just seems too likely we will have
Yes?
Too likely that we'll have what? Trouble.
I'm not sure. I'm torn between the thought that if we go immediately, we have a greater chance, but if we go immediately, we also have a greater chance of falling afoul ourselves.
Then we
So-
leave tomorrow then.
That does sound to be the best choice.
Yes.
Anivia nods.
Okay. Well, it is settled then. No?
It is. These were supposed to help me. But if we're going as a force, I don't think I necessarily need these potions. You guys can use them as you see fit. I imagine Vigord probably
Oh.
had something on him.
If we're waiting till tomorrow, let me see here. Heal 8, then.
No, we
heal
still have the
7.
feast back home too.
Yeah.
It's fine. I've got lots of uses.
Yeah. So we cleaned Volgorg out of his armor and everything.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And specifically,
He
he
had
has.
armor.
He did not. His art makes him look like he has armor, but he wouldn't be able to cast in it. Okay, so
Right, he's got mage armor, so he doesn't need it.
Mhm. He's carrying a wand, a couple of potions, and about 42 gold pieces, in addition to a really nice rancer. It's obviously like the faint blue light it puts off is very clearly magical.
That is very intriguing.
I have a button for this. Button. I buttoned it. I buttoned it real good.
You did. Which one are you buttoning?
That's a good button.
It's the best.
I like
button.
that button. I should press that button more often, apparently.
It's Plato's button in that closet. Literally the perfect definition of button. Is that for the weapon or for the wand? You can have both. You rolled really well. We don't have to shoehorn it. The wand is a wand of magic missile with 11 charges.
Cast level 3.
Cast level 3. It's almost as if you already know this. The weapon is what's known as the Rancer of the Gargoyle, which is... Whoa. It's a it's a +1 Rancer that grants a +4 bonus on disarm checks rather than the typical +2. And up to 5 times per day, as a swift action, the wielder of a Rancer of the Gargoyle can cause their skin to harden for 1 round, gaining a +2 enhancement bonus to their natural armor.
How do you spell Rancer?
Ranseur.
Why, yes. It's 2d4, I think 20 times 2. And it is a reach weapon.
2d4, yeah, 20 times 3.
20 times 3, fair enough. Nice.
Piercing.
It's a reach weapon. It is...
Yeah, disarm 3.
It would be good for one of our folks, not for my character, though, because he's got a shield.
I want to see if Lan can use it.
It's a martial weapon.
What about Delvin?
Wait,
what weapon are you using right now, Delvin?
My Forgekin sword.
Oh, the giant, like, Bowie knife that isn't a Bowie knife?
It's... If you look it up online, it's called a smatchet. Basically, it's a double-edged, think of it as a knife, except it has a major swell about a third of the way back and then tapers. So it's kind of like the combination of a knife and a hatchet, except in my case, it's sword size.
Gotcha.
Though it is worth noting, if you slap a reach weapon on Delvin, when Delvin is large, he would have a reach of 4 squares.
That is really big.
Every Magus's dream.
Matt,
Yes, but I didn't go the 2-hand weapon Magus. I'm a Kinsei Magus.
Oh, yeah, it's fair. You have to use that one weapon. Fair enough.
Oh.
Well, to get any of the special stuff to it. Wait a second.
You can still spell combat with a 2-handed weapon. You just use a free action to remove your hand, cast the spell, put your free action to put your hand back on your weapon, and swing.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know
I'm trying to remember if
policy for having like a reach weapon whenever we need to, like, you know, have some extra control of the battlefield.
Yeah, but if Tommy's okay with this, since all magic weapons seem to resize themselves, Lan can just throw it to Delvin whenever he needs it.
Yeah, that is a thing.
That works too.
I was thinking it'd be a good weapon for one of our fighters to have, so that they didn't have to be in the front of the fight.
Like Lan?
Or any of the other fighters. Well, we can decide once we regroup with our squad.
I mean, it doesn't work for either of my characters, or either of my fighter characters, but I bet it'll work for one of yours.
Probably.
Perhaps Lan, maybe.
Yeah, because Lan has a plus heavy mace that he can 2-hand and does the same damage, but has less damage than the Rancer.
Yeah. Plus, then he's got that whole, it can do that whole natural armor thing.
Yeah, increases natural armor even higher.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Seems real good. Okay. So you guys head back then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty, back we go to Horgus's manor, and Neve shuts and locks the door. She withdraws a key and locks the thing, and you guys head back. It's a real short walk. Nothing happens really out of the ordinary, and you guys return. There's in the perhaps all told like 20 minutes that you've been gone, the little like front gate out front of Horkus's Manor has been not really fortified, but like boxes have been arranged so archers can like stand up top, and a couple of the fighters are there with ranged weapons pointing down. They see you open the gate, close it back.
Do they spill oil over the front gate and put down bear traps?
No, they don't. Bakken and Oleg
Not
were there.
against us. I'd hope not.
If you played Pathfinder Kingmaker,
Oh, you
you'll know
know.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't worry. I am aware of what you're talking about.
You guys aren't bandits.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys make
Okay.
it back. The festivities have not yet to begin, but people are breaking out really fancy ale and like dried meats and things and starting to organize them.
Okay.
Grozak is not sure if this is best idea to be having, but I suppose it's better than, I don't know. You know what? Perhaps it's not so bad. We could use a chance to relax and just enjoy the fact that we are not dead.
I'll just look at him and be like, what's the one thing in war you can't buy?
My people do not have any concept of currency, so I don't know.
You can't buy more men, or you can buy more men, and you can buy more swords, but you can't buy more morale. You'll figure it out eventually when you grow older.
I understand, but we are also trying to host a festivity in the middle of dangerous territory.
It's not going to be a rager. It's just a celebration. A small one.
Grazak just grunts and he's just like,
Whatever.
I'll use all my fairy powers and fly up into a spiral and get everyone's attention, and I'll just look at Anivia and be like, do you want to tell them the news?
She nods, steps forward. It looks like we're not the only survivors. My wife and what remains, I assume, are held up at Defender's Heart on the other side of town. And at that, she's still pretty shaky and anxious about it, but everybody kind of erupts in conversations all across the room, basically. The scene gets rapidly, like, no one's, when I say conversations across the room, it's not like Rivendell, Fellowship of the Ring, everyone's arguing back and forth, not like that so much as just everyone wants to talk at once, basically. Anivia steps back. Well, we go there now. Why are we trying to have some kind of party if there's more people there? Or maybe you can send your people down and, well, bring them here and we can have more people to defend the manor.
Did you not forget we already have Mongrelmen coming up at some point in time, and the fact that, can you see in the dark?
I cannot. No, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
That's why
we've
we're not
seen-
going tonight.
Yes. We've seen what kind of beasts lurk about the city in the daytime. Do you want to take chance with what comes out when the sun goes down?
No, you not. No, thank you.
Good.
Do you want to meet another Cavapus?
I know what.
A Cavapus.
I believe the tiny one is referring to the cave.
The cave octopus.
Squid.
Oh,
I
yeah, and
do
he's
not know
dark.
what it's called.
he rubs the scars
The
on
cave
his neck
mantle.
as he remembers the dark mantle that had bit him and almost killed him. No, not quite, not so much, no. Alright, so we head out first thing in the morning then. Are you planning on taking everyone? Am I supposed to leave my manor undefended once again?
No. We'll go. We'll talk to them. We'll inform them of the manor and how defendable it is, and our most esteemed guest held in the vault, and see what they want to do.
Yes. Besides,
Are
to
we gonna take any of our other people, or is it just gonna be the 4 of us?
Well, Lan's coming with me. I have been given leadership for free, kind of. I am using the hell out of this.
Anivia is definitely going as well.
Okay. Of mine, I'd like let's see. I think I'm gonna keep my mage and the tailor there. So I'll bring I'll bring the mongrelman and the fighter along with us.
Okay.
Well, I'm torn because having Malorn would be good, but if we're planning on keeping this place defensible,
Yeah.
him staying
Actually, I'm gonna
here is a
leave
good
the
idea.
Fighter here because he's a frontline fighter, so I don't necessarily we don't need him. But I will bring the mongrelman though because he can attack from a space away, so that'll be helpful.
Okay.
So just
Yeah.
Scythar the mongrelman.
He does look a little greener than he did before. I will say that.
I'll leave my folks here, and since Malorn was able to keep things together, I'll smile at him whenever I ask if he'll stay to help protect the place. I'll put him in charge of the defense.
sure.
He nods. Kind of smiles back.
As we're getting ready to go to bed, because I'm imagining that's going to happen after the feast,
I thought we were.
I'll
Well, are we gonna like RP any of the festivities or no?
I should still
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay, so the 20-some of you, because I've lost count. Several people are several different places, and now there might be one more. There are lots of folks, lots of friends. You guys huddle around the fireplace, basically, because it does get kind of cold here nights. From time to time, you can hear the sounds of something screeching out on the prowl in the town, and well and truly, it does get louder as the sun goes down, as well as the sounds of like buildings breaking and things shattering and such. But thankfully, nothing happens to you guys. It's peaceful. The meat is good, the ale is good, the meat is probably the best meat you've had in a long time. Horgus breaks out a little lute and can't carry a tune in a bucket, but he does try his very best to sing a wonderful song about Chiabris and her. And I've lost all my subscriber count now, but it's bad, and his lute is really out of tune, and he doesn't seem to know, and he's playing the chords like backwards, upside down, and it's awkward but somehow endearing. Everyone, the rest of the band, they pick up I said band meaning group of mercenaries, not like his drummer, but you get the idea. They pick it up and they start, they all kind of back and forth
Right.
carry it. It's basically a mess, but it is a heartwarming one. There are more smiles on people's faces than there have been in a long time. People like suddenly remember that they're covered in grime and stuff, and they take pains for the first time in a while to like basic self-care. Some of the men like withdraw a dagger to shave, things like that. As things begin to wind down. Yes?
Is it bad that when you said Horace grabs out some loot. My ears perked up, like, ooh, we're getting stuff.
You're getting a reverse bardic performance. You're now bad at everything. A Dirge of Doom, one might
Oh,
say.
well.
Jason, were you going to say something?
I was just thinking that probably most people would have been prestidigitated a little cleaner before food got served.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
that's fair.
fair.
That happens.
Our mages go around and be like, everyone, put your hands out. Beep, 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 beep,
And
beep.
cast sanitizer.
I cast Purell.
Nice. So as things begin to wind down and the food eventually,
Yeah.
well, the food will probably never run out because this is Horgus's place, but the food that was brought out for tonight, because you're still rationing, runs out.
Yeah.
Lan looks up and looks at all of you and, well, we have quite the company here now. Suppose we need a name, don't we?
We need name.
Yes. Something for
Golden.
something
You
for that
already
one to
have a
sing
name,
about.
though.
Yes, my name
Your
is
name
Lan.
is Lan.
Correct.
I am Grazak.
But what will they call us in the stories?
The free folk.
Some people nod at that.
The unrelenting.
Being with
More nods.
I'm sure we can come up with names at some point.
I would
Just
say the
survive-
Avengers, since that's like
Grazak,
perfect for us.
It is kind of
Especially
perfect for
with
you.
the line. We may not be able to save the Earth, but you'll be damn sure we'll avenge it.
Dun, dun,
And you
dun.
have assembled a lot of people.
the Earth will not be destroyed by demons. The end times will be brought by dragons. I'm sure that is a very long ways away. We may live through this battle, or we may die, but in the end, life will prevail over these abominations. And Grazak takes a very long swig of whatever Horgus had stashed away in his, wine cabinets. But then he gets a very sad look on his face when he looks around everybody. And he kind of bows his head.
What's the problem?
Ugh.
Feeling lonely?
Being with this reminds me of being back with my tribe in the south. I miss them dearly.
Well, at least they're not being attacked and mutilated and murdered by demons, so that's a thing.
Chompy goes over
Right.
and snuggles up against him.
Oh.
Grazak kind of awkwardly tries to pet it. I wonder. So, do the rest of you have family? Have kin? I look over to Delvin or Kieran. Or help, of course, Kempy even.
I've been stuck over here for far too long to know if we still exist, but I would imagine so. It's kind of hard to kill us.
I have a whole tribe back home.
Oh.
And the lands of my people are far away.
As are mine. In the Riverlands in the south. I believe most of the Warmbloods call it the River Kingdoms. I look over to one of the librarians for confirmation on that.
They nod.
Yes. I will be honest, I did not have too many friends in my tribe. I was sometimes a bit of a liability, but I did have my brother Cormac and my mate Kruchaku. And at the mention of that, his eyes kind of sparkle nostalgically as he remembers that name. Yes. She had scales of polished jade as lithe as a water snake, and had the ferocity of swamp badger. What of your kind?
I fly up to Delvin's shoulder. Did any of that make sense to you? I know of honey badgers. I don't know of swamp badgers.
Just think of it as being poetic.
About as poetic as a brutish lizard man can be.
So, useless art. Got it.
All right.
You just get a large eyebrow raise.
That's okay. Grazak is too lost up in the memory and possibly wine to really remember or think to really notice. Anyways,
Delvin has had far less alcohol and far more water tonight. Just trying to make sure that we're able to keep a good watch.
Don't mute the senses too much.
anyways,
So, Irvashno, I would recommend tomorrow prepping as much magic armor as you can,
He nods.
just so we can protect as many people as we can, because we don't have enough good armor to protect everyone.
Of course.
You do the same. I know yours don't last as long, but yours will still be helpful. Jeffus, Tormund, you're on Delvin duty. And he nods in understanding that he'll prepare reduced persons.
Yeah, that's what Delvin duty means. Got it.
And I can do some that myself, a little.
Yeah, but that'll at least give us 2-minute bursts of not having to worry about you fitting.
Makes sense.
I'll quickly palm the scale and flash it. I do okay.
Oh, that's right. You have to disguise one, don't you?
And I've been teeny tiny all afternoon.
I thought he had the alter self one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's to disguise one.
Okay.
You had sacred weaponry, so I guess I got resistance.
And then Tempe had the levitate one.
Yeah, the cloud walk.
Right.
While we're talking about who will be traveling with who, Rozak would go over to his honorary tribesmen, the 2 fighters and the wizard, and he'd want at least the mage to come with him, because he thinks that we have enough combatants, but enough support based combatants would be useful, and he still wants to make sure that the others are still protected by the other soldiers.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay.
No, it's all good. Okay.
So just double checking who's staying at the manor. Basically, it's my team. So that's going to be Malorn and Malorn, and that's pretty much it. Both of my mongrel men are off
3
elsewhere.
of my 4 are staying. I'm only bringing Scythar.
And I'm
So it's
okay.
2 mages basically, and a soldier.
Okay.
Yeah, my mages are saying that's for when we come back and grab everyone. I'm just having
Okay.
them prepared to grab everyone.
Oh,
Okay.
fair enough.
And they'll use their slots today to write scrolls.
Makes sense.
All right. I'll have my mage Gilliman have magic missile prepared and enlarge person prepared.
Wow,
And mage
I didn't
armor.
realize they all had scrolls on them already.
Yep.
They're all pretty set, yeah. Like we didn't realize all the fighters were carrying cold iron daggers.
Yeah,
That's important for this game.
it
Very-
is.
Very important. Okay, so it sounds like you guys all have your stuff together. You have your
Yeah.
plan enacted, and you guys take off.
Oh,
Who?
one more thing. Sorry.
Yes.
Grozak gave Caleb some time to reconsider himself. I come back in the morning and see how he's doing.
Okay. He's
I go back.
quiet, introspective.
Have you had time to think?
I have, and I think I have
You
a lot
have
to
an
atone
answer.
for.
You do. I cannot speak for whether your brethren will forgive you, but we'll see if they'll give you the chance to. I then pull out a knife and I'm going to ask him, if I cut your bonds loose, are you going to play nice, I guess?
He nods.
Sense motive that.
If you would, yeah, that would be
Again,
good.
hold on. Yes, it would. I don't even think I have sense motive. No, I do not have it prepared. Ah, come on,
Well,
give me
you
it.
still
Oh, come
Mm.
on.
Tempe, do you go and check on them and make sure they're still alive?
Tempe.
Yeah, I can be in there with you. Give me just a sec.
Okay, good. Somebody who's better at social skills than Grazak.
Ta-da! Okay, 12.
He seems on the level. He nods. He probably isn't gonna do anything bad. He doesn't, like, when he says he needs to atone, it's not like he's gonna get spells back or something. But
Of course. But
he seems to be willing to do better. At least he understands that what he was doing was wrong.
all right, good. Now, gonna take him over to the librarians of your atonement. Apologize to the sages, and basically present him to the librarians.
Okay.
We can RP this later if you guys want, because I know that we're still got some. We only have a few, like 50
Yeah,
minutes left for combat.
Okay. He
Finish the actual thing. We can
Okay, yeah, we can do this later then.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It happens. You guys take off. The city is quieter today. Occasionally,
It's beautiful.
yeah. Occasionally, you guys pass by like something winged overhead in such a way that everybody needs to duck under a building or something, but nothing really happens in terms of like coming upon anyone or attacking anything or anything attacking you. That said, you probably could go out of your way to find stuff if you really wanted to.
Is Delvin big or small?
At the moment, I'm small.
Okay, never mind.
So there's quite a lot of you. As you make your way across Canabras, it takes probably the better part of the morning into the early bits of the afternoon to make your way over there. The building is enormous, and it's just a gigantic stone structure that's been around since Canabras, basically. Again, not necessarily built to be defensible, but certainly built to last. There's a lot of you moving through the city. So the approach is pretty... Well, that's not necessarily true. There's not a million of you. You could go up stealthily if you wanted to. But everybody does see that there are guards posted in the inn. Like every second or third window, there's a guy with a crossbow looking out.
Anybody want to introduce ourselves?
Anivia is the one who brought us here.
She makes her way forward when there's a bit of a hesitation, and a crossbow bolt flies over her head. There's the starting of halt. Who goes? Wait! Somebody get the commander! Isn't that? And you see a human man lean out the window to look. Isn't that that's the commander's wife? And there's a bit of a hullabaloo before a tall half-orc woman in resplendent golden armor walks out the front of Defender's Heart. She picks up her step a little bit, so too does Anivia, and then Anivia, her leg starts acting up, and so she has to slow down, and her wife sees this and runs up to her, and there's a tender moment amidst all of the chaos and confusion of the wreck of Canabras.
I'll fly around in circles above them really, really fast, trying to get some of my deader scales to fall off and sprinkle down around them.
It probably does cause both of them to laugh. They look up and see you and just, Nivea, who is this? Oh, that's Kieran. It's been a... What is he? Is this a sprite? I don't understand. And
I'm a Burn, actually. Or Borellian. Borellian is, I think, how I pronounced it.
I see. Well met. I see you've brought friends. Is this all of you?
Yeah, that's funny. There's 22 of us in
just
total.
The whole of everyone in the party just bursts out laughing. Is this all of us?
No.
There's 22 of us in total, plus 2 prisoners.
I see. Sounds like all
I
of
think
you
one
then.
of them has been released as I shoot a glance over at Grazok.
The others will be
process.
keeping an eye on him.
We
I
have
see.
one Baphomedian and one fallen of sword over pretentious people.
I think you mean Iomedae, and you see that the woman's shield
Yes.
also is emblazoned with the long sword. So too is her plate mail.
Yeah, what are you all? I don't know. Your gods are all weird.
What?
They don't have any fun.
We do what we can. I'm sorry, forgive me. My name is Irabeth. I'm now the brand new captain of the Eagle's Watch. And
Congratulations.
I owe
You
all
are in charge.
and I owe
Condolences.
all 4 of you a debt I don't think I can ever repay. Well, are you hungry? Thirsty? Need a place to stay?
We had a party last night. Yeah, we're at Horgus's. We've kind of turned it into a base.
Horgus?
He's got a vault. Horgus Guarum.
There is a wealthier human, Horus Gorum, whose hovel has not been destroyed by the demons and the rest of the fighting. We
Hovel
have
with
a group
all
of
of
22 other people still hunkered there for protection.
I see.
hovel with all of the quotation marks. Mansion.
Whatever. I grew up in the jungle. We don't have mansions in the jungle. Long house, maybe.
Mini city. So y'all can come there, or we can come here, whichever one you think is best. But now that we've found the defense,
Yeah, speaking of that, which of the two places looks like it would be the easier to defend?
Probably
I
this
have my
one.
guess.
If you had to
You think
guess, it would
this
be
would be?
both in terms of like Defender's Heart is a solid piece of stone, and in the tenderness of two lovers being reunited amidst destruction, a lot of people have come out of Defender's Heart. And by that I mean a lot of people. There's probably a couple hundred.
more than
Wow.
20.
Yes.
More than 20, yeah.
So,
I'm assuming this has to be a fairly large building, right?
Yeah, it's a real big inn.
So
Okay.
if we could get some of y'all to come back with us to provide support for getting the old people and young child that we've found back here,
And
that'd be great.
And the potentially crazy, dangerous ones.
Oh, and your orc asshole is dead.
What? You mean the Gorg here? Oh. Why am I not surprised? Well,
He was at your house. It was fun.
It was fun.
and now
Oh,
he's
also, we have another contingent of helpers on their way up.
Yeah.
In fact,
Oh,
they
yeah.
should be here
Yes.
like later today or tomorrow, right?
you guys
Yeah.
have 3 days now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have more of Land's people coming.
Lands people. Oh.
Oh.
I see the rumors are true.
Yes.
Yes,
Tribesmen
the children of the
underground-
First Crusade.
The children of the underground will be joining us in the fight against the demons that have destroyed the city.
Speaking of, what does Lan look like? Because
Lan looks like Lan.
a little bit.
He's like,
Right.
he has like a half of an elf face and half of like a weird scaly orange face.
He is half elf, half lizard with a goat horn.
Pretty much. Whereas Scythar has crawled straight off the set of Space Ghost Coast to Coast to come and kill stuff with us. It's good to see the first descendants are actually real. You three, and she turns in the direction of 3 individuals dressed like her. They fall in. Where can we find Lan? Was it? Where can we find your people? And Lan points down. Go underneath the city. Find these allies of ours and establish relations. Let them know where we are. Fill them in on everything. They nod.
That
Off they
probably
go.
will not be necessary.
Well, we have
And
already
most
sent.
of them will be arriving sometime within the next. How many more days do we have?
3
He
days.
said 3 days, but they're also going to Horgus's, so we do
Ah.
need to send a contingency down to
Yes.
tell them that we've changed places.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But the Earth will literally open up and we'll have forces join us in our combat.
She smiles widely at this.
By the way, do y'all have a forge or a workshop?
We have merchants. It's
I don't care about the merchant part.
then what is it you need?
A spot to
Forges.
work.
I don't understand.
I do
A
my own
forge
work.
For crafting.
I see.
The little one is very good at making things. He
So's
would
the
need
big
help.
one.
Yes, the big and the little one. Me, not so much.
I suppose
at
I suppose we
fashion
could set up
things.
some kind of battlefield forge. I wouldn't be surprised if the priests of Torog have something squirreled away. Mostly it's been scavenging.
Yeah.
Well, if you need anything.
Grazak does have radiance on his person, by the way. Does she? Sword?
As
Is it a
you've
quarterstaff, a grill, or a sword?
Oh, I'm carrying it around as a sword.
okay,
Razak does not like the weird metallic taste in his mouth.
she doesn't notice it.
Yeah, it
because,
messes up with the blood flavor.
well, I guess you have it unsheathed. Yeah, okay, so we gotta back up a little. That'd be the first thing she sees. Her eyes just bug out. Is that... That's radiance. My friend, you have found it. Thought it lost.
It was in the underground.
What was it doing there?
It's
It was in the hands of
it was the cultist.
these evil ones. And I'll show my brand.
Where did we find it?
It was hidden away in the underground with the traders,
mongrel men?
men.
Yeah.
They were trying to use it in some sort of ritual for breaking the warding stone. If I'm...
Or were they trying to turn it into an unholy artifact?
Oh yeah,
I think
they were trying to.
they
do
were. Didn't we find that not long after we captured our current guest?
That is correct.
Akko?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
she had it. She was taking it back to what's his name?
If you would like to
Stone
speak
Vein.
to the person who we found it with, or close to with, we'd be happy to let you talk with her as well.
Don't pay attention to the fingers.
I see. Well, there's more than enough room here at Defender's Heart for the rest of you. I don't know about the First Crusader's descendants, but we can figure it out.
More people, more better, right?
She nods.
So, do we get a contingency, or do you want us to try and just make it back on our own?
No, of course not. And she grabs... I'll go myself. Quendis can handle everything here. And she turns to the assembled men and women in armor. All right. Everyone with me. And they all draw swords and begin marching out. It takes probably the rest of the day to walk that far. To walk like... yeah, because you got to go like all the way around the city and then back down again, grab everybody. Orgus complains, but that's not abnormal. And then back across. This time you don't necessarily have to dodge the demons. This time the demons are dodging you, and those few that don't get out of the way fast enough receive a crossbow bolt to the shoulder blades and fall over in the street.
I will do one thing to make Horgus happier. After he has a chance to either fill or empty his vault as he would like, I'll stone shape it shut and smooth.
Okay.
So
everything of Horgus's of value that wasn't broken gets put in the vault and it gets stone shaped shut. Fair enough.
I would expect he wants to keep a good bit of coin for himself, but
Of course I do. You
that's-
gotta keep it in your vault, yeah.
yeah.
What was that a god you like, so we could have a marker on the door?
You mean Iomedae?
I don't know. Horgus followed somebody.
Oh, Horgus. We're talking about Horgus.
I'm confused.
Horgus followed somebody, and Evia knows about it. There was
Yeah.
a discussion. She called him on not showing his faith, and he's like, well, I'm rich. I don't...
Oh, this was a while ago.
Yeah.
When they were arguing with each other about...
Yeah.
Well, if we
find out
mark it,
just
I
exactly
imagine
who.
people could go find the thing, but I mean, and he pulls out a couple of little scales on a necklace, like out from under his shirt to hang in front of everything. Like most of the people around here who see to the trade and commerce of cities such as Kinobridge, well, I venerate Abadar. It's the only thing kept this, I suppose, place running is, well, trade, commerce. things of that
With
sort.
who?
What is it?
The only people that would be around here is a bunch of barbarians.
And the Crusaders, and they like to buy weapons, and they like to buy food. And people such as myself, and people like myself, well, we see to it that that happens. Easy enough.
It seems strange to have a god associated with such things.
Well, it would for you, I imagine, yeah. We
Well,
humans, we have
it's
used
just
commerce
that-
and trade and gold and, the forward advancement of civilization to keep ourselves afloat. We don't all have tails and scales and claws such as yourself.
It's more about the honesty and community that
it's
he cares about.
well,
And
it's
trade
more
is
about the
just wrapped
fact
up
that
in that.
it's more of the fact that these trade, commerce, and economics seems something that's strictly a construct of mortal affairs. Why would a god
Economics.
be why would a it seems strange to me that a god would be associated with things that are mortal constructs.
The god is more focused on law and honesty and community, and humans attribute trade into that.
That slightly makes more sense.
He's all about balance and honesty.
Grazak just shrugs.
Do we see you visibly shiver as you say that?
I don't get it.
I'm honest. Kind of.
Kind of. Sometimes when I want to be.
I'm not
But-
dishonest. That doesn't prevent me from pulling tricks.
Uh,
I'm going to quote Jack Sparrow. You always have to worry about the honest man being dishonest. You never have to worry about the dishonest man being dishonest.
Because you always know he's being dishonest.
Not always. That in itself is a deception.
Which then makes it dishonest.
this is beginning to make my head hurt. We can discuss this later. We must go retrieve our host.
The Sparrow of Jack
Yes.
is the way to go.
Indeed. And basically the rest of the
But-
day passes as the whole squad makes their way back to Defender's Heart.
On the way, I will have Chompy running about, especially if he smells what he thinks are people.
Okay.
Looking for more
Because since we have a big enough group coming down the street, if, maybe we can pick up a couple more stragglers on the way.
That makes sense. Yeah, you probably find
We
about,
have.
about a dozen more people of various races and ages that have been holding out. No one attacks you. Everyone gets immediately detect evil, then they all check out.
Good.
It's fun when you have paladins to help on this thing.
Yeah.
Well, paladins that can actually use detect evil.
Indeed.
You're our special paladin.
Compromises.
Compromises.
We call those downsides.
You guys make it to Defender's Heart around the end of the day.
You call it downsides, I call it having more skill points to pass around. Anyway,
Well, if nobody has anything else in need of me, I could use a nice rest. And I call my cat and I lift up my shirt and he just jumps into me and I have a bare gut now.
I'm sure Horgus just finds the fact that Kieran every so often grows a bit of a, cat gut. It makes him feel better about his own physique.
Makes him feel like he's not the only one out here. He's just too fat to be useful.
I'd also like to point out the fact that I'm a tiny creature and a small creature, because I think cats are small, right?
They're tiny.
some house cats are considered tiny, I think.
Mhm.
No, they are tiny. So a tiny creature just jumped into a tiny creature.
Very big belly. Tumor-esque, I
Oh,
might say.
and I'll get into my pack and I'll just hand Anivia a sock and walk away.
What?
Razak will never understand the little one.
I don't understand either.
It's,
Kieran,
We all
why?
have never had a roommate.
if they look in my direction, it's complete blank. I see this. I just shake my head in confusion and go to find the priests of Torag with Milkor in tow.
I go to find what was the paladin's name again?
Her name is Irabeth.
I will go to find Irbeth with my mercs and Caleb in tow.
Okay. So Kieran's going to bed. Tempe got anything?
Not really. She'll probably just be up chatting with folks and having a good time.
Okay, fair enough. Well, one thing the four of you all notice.
Although,
Good.
I was gonna say, if I can find his name. Belthus is probably gonna find the other merchants so he can set up shop.
Indeed, and it is on that
Along
note
with
that
his
you guys
wife.
are explaining that martial law has not been enforced in the city to keep morale up. So there are plenty of merchants here, and those merchants are still in business. So they will. It's standard. Buy your stuff for buy your stuff for half, sell for full. But there is a place to offload gear and things here.
All right. Well, yeah. Belthus and I'm assuming his.
Did
wife
you say
are
that
gonna
backwards?
Set up shop.
They will buy. I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Oopsie. Thank you for being honest. See, he isn't a liar. Y'all understand.
No, he's just doing this now because whenever you do this and we're 10th level, he'll hold you to it.
This is my warning.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay, so
This is
Grezzik,
your. I don't want to be caught like five episodes later. Like, how did you all get so much money?
where'd the wealth by level go? I don't understand how this game works. All those guys have +1 weapons now. Wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa.
What?
When did you guys turn mythic?
When did anyone get fully Avengers?
Yeah, you. Well, I mean, you got a shiny sword. Anyway, Grezzik, on that note, goes and finds
Still no
Irabeth.
idea what it does, by the way.
Irabeth basically spends most of her time right now with Anivia. They are over a map. Basically, she's moving little like chess pieces around to indicate troop movements and where they think the demons are moving and things. And they look up and Grezzik.
Oh yeah. Yes. I kind of just look at Caleb and just be like, this is step 1 for redemption. And I just kind of shove him forward and just like,
You hear a whisper from the
Confess.
ethos. You mean step 2? He's already apologized.
yeah, but now he has to apologize to someone who's actually of his faith. Like, the idea is that like if he's gonna get full redemption, then he should have like the blessing from like an actual paladin. You know?
Okay.
I don't know. That's how I see it. I don't know how to do it.
Makes sense.
Razak does not understand the religious politics of this church. It's basically the equivalent of dumping him towards her and just like, your problem now.
Okay. So Caleb, because I've done things that I regret. I am sorry. Well, haven't we all? Grezzik, do you think he's going to do anything further wrong?
Some of my... We've come across people that have turned to madness in the demons before. Before I had met Delvin, or my former master, I would have killed this one without question. But
we need all the men. We need all the soldiers and warriors we need to fight what's coming. This one should have a chance.
Good enough for me. Well, alrighty. He doesn't seem like he's outward going to stab anyone in the back, and she holds out her hand and closes her eyes. He hasn't done anything to turn him too far to evil. So be it. We need all the help we can get. You can find whatever gear you can find here. You will be expected to contribute to the defense, and should you happen to betray us in any way, shape, or form, I will kill you myself. Caleb nods twice and leaves the room as fast as possible. Irabeth, or I'm going to screw their names up a lot. Nivea looks up at Irabeth worried, and she sets a gauntlet on her hand, on her head rather, just... There are spies everywhere in this city. This attack was orchestrated. This attack has been planned for decades, but I don't think he was one of them. I almost wish he was. I'd rather deal with spies than fools. So, tell me, Grezik, how is it you came to, well, all of your new friends, your fancy weapon?
Well, in the first attack by that elder demon, the Baylor, the earth collapsed beneath us and we found ourselves in the underground. That is where we came across the tribesmen below, those the first crusade. We helped them dispatch of some of traitorous kin of theirs. That is where we found the cultist of Baphomet. She was in possession of the sword. After we left, we came back to the surface, went to the library, which was in ruins. That is where we found Caleb. And then we went to Gorham's home, and then we came here.
I see. I wish we'd known. I have to imagine she's a member of the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. They're all over the place here. Probably the worst threat we have to face now. She didn't happen to have any orders, plans, anything like that?
She did. They planned on destroying one of the warding stones. We have a note there's a note that has her orders, but I don't have it on my person. Was it Delvin or Kieran that had that letter?
Kieran, I believe.
You may speak to the little one about this matter. He has the orders, or he has the letter from the orders, and is also trying to get more information out of the cultist as we speak. Or not as we speak. He went to bed.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I will ask him in the morning then, if we don't get anything out of her ourselves. I'm sorry about Terendelev. It's hard to believe myself.
I watched a daughter of my god die before my eyes.
We all did.
But I will die before I see the rest of those disgusting creatures draw breath.
And she claps
Speaking
a
of which,
big hand on your shoulder. That's exactly what we need, my friend.
there's also the matter of this blade. I understand it holds great power, but I don't fully understand what it's capable of doing. I don't suppose any of the smarter people here have more information on this blade, I hand her I present Radiance to her.
Okay. She draws it, and it's all of its glory reflects off of her armor, and in the span of like 2 seconds, she goes from being the like obvious in command, cool, calm control to like glorious holy warrior. Then she sheathes it again. Well, clearly it's made from cold iron. Clearly it's magical.
Right.
I don't know.
I know these things, but there's something else to it. I can't remember if we ever sorry, out of character. I can't remember if we ever discussed like the other, like the epic like power or mythic power that it has or something like that.
I thought it was
That
just
probably
plus
won't
one
come.
longsword that forms to whatever weapon your deity wants.
Yep, Radiance is a +1 cold iron longsword. Doing a scroll. +1 cold iron longsword that radiates light as a torch. The weapon shifts and changes its form to match the paladin's deity's favorite weapon. In the hands of a paladin who doesn't worship a deity, the weapon remains a +1 longsword.
Okay, so there is. Okay, I thought there was something else to it. Never mind.
Actually, she swings it a little bit, and the weight's off. Sheathes it. You'd better keep it.
Eight's off. Ugh. Okay. I kind of just shrug. I would have given to you anyway, but I feel that this thing is bound to me already.
And as you take it back, it tries to go back into the form
Back
of...
into my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, no, not again.
Okay, this time as you take it back, it turns into a quarterstaff.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to. So just like a shiny golden pole.
Basically, yeah. Almost as if it was
actually-
made of like dragon bone.
You know what? You know, like those like fighting staffs that like Maori warriors sometimes wield.
Like a
Or-
taiaha?
Maybe.
Like
Yeah,
a
like a
bow staff?
taiaha.
Mhm.
Imagine it probably looks something like that. No,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
It would make sense, like aesthetically.
Yeah, it would. A little less like a quarterstaff you see on a wizard, a little more like a stick with a really broad end.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's better than going into my mouth. I'm going to go sleep now.
Fair enough.
Caleb is your problem now. Good day. Then I just leave the door as soon as possible.
Okay, so Kieran is sleeping, Tempe is yakking, Delvin had stuff Delvin wanted to do.
Yeah, sorry that took so long.
I'm taking him and Malorn, myself and Malorn, to the priests of Torag.
Okay. It's not hard to find them. They're pretty loud because, well and truly, they have just out. No, that would be loud. Where would they? How to do? It's awkward, but I imagine it would somehow work some way if you were to take a fireplace and enough castings of stone shape, you could convert it into a very simple forge. The sound of the anvil ringing has been silenced so as not to give away their position, but you turn the corner and the hammer comes down on the anvil but makes no noise. They look up and they see you and they see Malorn, and a lot of people continue working, but one of the older dwarves moves forward. Well, I had heard rumors that there was a forgekin somewhere out in the Crusader camp. Didn't think I'd ever lay eyes on him. Well met.
There are two things I need to discuss with you, Forge Master.
Aye.
First is our kinsman, and I look over at Malorn.
Oh, what about him? He looks a little deranged, but, well, these are hard times.
His name is probably known to you. Milorn?
Millarn, I can't say I haven't heard the name. I don't necessarily keep track of every dwarf in Canabras, though. Did he do something?
Milorn?
He moves forward. Demonology. He hangs his head. Aye. Well, that is indeed. And the priest has his hammer butt down into the ground and he's drumming on the head of it. That is unfortunate. Have you come to seek absolution? Or have you, brother, have you brought him for penance?
I am not sure. Absolution would have to come from his own desires. I can only speak in his behalf. Since he has recovered more of his self, for he was living not as our kinsman did, save under the ground. Since that time, he has protected the innocent. I believe he is worthy of redemption.
I see. We certainly could use an extra pair of hands around here. As far as we know, this is it. Heard something about how they were coming from Mendev. Haven't seen hide nor hair of that one. There's talk of people coming up from the ground, and well, I can't say I necessarily disagree with that one at all. But between here and there...
The children of the...
Aye, yes,
the children of the First Crusade are coming, Forge Master.
That's good to hear.
Speaking of that, Lan and Scythar should probably go down and get them. Also, I need to leave for the day, so I will see you guys later.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
Cool.
We sent 3 of the Eagle Knights down to get him, I thought.
We did.
Oh, did you set? Did
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
I missed that part. All right, I will talk to you guys later then.
All right.
Enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Later.
Okay. Well, and the priest holds out his hand and begins to scan into Milorn. Demon magic is one thing. Selling your soul to a demon is entirely another. It would appear that our kinsman has not gone that far down. We all make mistakes sometimes. If you're willing to work, if you're willing to overcome it, I think everyone can be redeemed.
I'll just look to Milorn and say, brother, the choice is yours. Stay with them, stay with me, or my initial promise ends. I return your book and weapons, and you may go as you please.
On a short trip to the grave.
But the choice is yours, and you have done good. It would be a shame to throw that away.
It would. I'll follow you, I think.
Fair. And Forge Master,
Aye.
while under Canabras. When the attack came, we were in the square. Saw Terendliv perish and fell through the earth. Came across a shrine from the First Crusade to Torag. There was what
Hexiva.
used to be a priest there. He fell in his. This was on him, and I get into the pack and hand over the ring the priest had.
I see. It's a
Alright,
fine
so-
piece.
Oh.
Spins it over.
And in the shrine also was the warhammer that Malorn now carries.
Hey, makes sense. I imagine him carrying it is about as good as anyone else carrying it.
While I can use it, I am far better with my own.
Of course, with the sword of
And
your people, I understand.
is there... I felt I needed to let you know and to seek your input. For while I am both a dwarf and I am not. But Malorn is a dwarf. And while redemption is for all, it must be earned.
I agree.
If
Well-
you do not object, he will come with me